brand new chapter, cell structure and its functions. And I hope all of you are doing well. So today this is a very important chapter and you will love, as this chapter is very interesting. This is the basic chapter for any student of class 8. See, later on when you take bio as a subject and tomorrow some of you become doctors, this is a very important chapter, as cell is the basic structural unit of a living organism. Let's understand the concepts behind this chapter, and as I do each time, I will do this time as well. I will send you a descriptive link wherein you can have all your questions and answers there, which will be very much beneficial for your examinations. So students, let's get started with this chapter, cell structure and its functions. So the basic structural unit of an organ is a cell. Cells may be compared to bricks. Bricks are assembled to make the body of every building. Yeah, is it? Yes, that's correct. Bricks assembled together to make the body of every building. Same way, cells can be compared to bricks. The smallest living part of an organism is a cell. I have underlined this for you. The smallest living part of an organism is a cell. So let's understand it better through a small flowchart. Human body system, it has got various systems: digestive, circulatory, nervous. So the digestive system will have a liver, circulatory system will have a heart, and the nervous system will have nerves and brain. Correct? So what happens, students? These are all organs. You are aware of it, yeah? These are all organs. So what is an organ? It is a group of tissues. Group of tissues is an organ. So if you again divide organ to a smaller part, it will be tissues here. So what are tissues? Group of tissues is collection of similar cells. Collection of similar cells is tissues. So what happens? Which means the smallest part is a cell. This cell is microscopic. The unit of it is so small that you cannot see through the naked eye, through the unaided eye, without the microscope. So this is cell. Microscopic, the unit is micrometer. Micrometer is the unit for a cell. It is so small. So this is the structural unit, smallest structural unit of a living organism. So this is how I made it. Smallest part, collection of cells, collection of similar cells. Collection of similar cells will make a organ. So tissues of liver will make the organ liver. Tissues of heart will make heart, because these are similar cells. You cannot use the a heart cannot have the cells of liver, and liver cannot have the cells of heart. So cell, right? Tissues, organs, system. Basically, a lot of organs together make a system, and human body. So cell is the smallest. Let's move further. Cells were first observed by Robert Hooke in 1665. It was cork, C-O-R-K, cork. Cork, a bark of the branch of a tree. So there's a tree have branches, and a small part of the branch is called a bark. You take the bark, and he took the bark and he observed this under a microscope. It appeared to him as a honeycomb. Honeycomb. You've seen a honeycomb, like in Hindi it is madhumakki ka chatta. So honeycomb will be like this, hexagons. See, this is how a honeycomb is. So this way he observed under the microscope. Cells appeared to him like this, a honeycomb. This is a honeycomb kind of a structure, right? So this was, but it was a bark of the branch of a tree. They appeared to him dead. There was no movement, dead. So he discovered it appeared as a honeycomb of small boxes. So it appeared to him as small boxes. He named them cells. The small boxes he named them cells. Later, after 150 years, through advancement in microscope, cells of living organisms were observed. Fine, students? Interesting? We'll keep on moving further and see how interesting this chapter is, how beautiful this chapter is. You'll really enjoy it. One of my favorite chapters. So, now what happens here? Alright. So I have told you this. It was observed of Koch by Robert Hooke. This observation was by Robert Hooke, who said cells are dead, which later was discovered that cells exhibit a variety of shapes and sizes. They are basic structural units. I have underlined this. Basic structural units and building blocks of body, just like bricks to a house. Just like bricks to a house. They have a variety in cell number, shape, size, living. They are living and have a function to perform. So basically, Robert Hooke said they are dead, and after 150 years, with advancement in technology in microscopes, it was observed they are living. So the microscopes were used, to examine the cells of a human body or any living organism. And after 150 years, it was discovered that they are the building blocks of the body, right? And they have a variety in shape, size, number, and they have a specific function to perform. But we cannot take the credit from Robert Hooke, who laid the foundation for the discovery of cell. Right? Now we move further. The smallest cell is 0.1 to 0.5, or you can say 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer. See, I have mentioned here, micrometer is mm. That's the unit. It is micrometer. I think I mentioned some, micrometer, right? So, smallest cell is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer in bacteria. Bacteria is the smallest cell, right? Does that mean that the cell of elephant is bigger than that of a rat? Think? Yeah. No. Okay, see, don't get confused. It's a very interesting question. Cell of a rat, it will appear to us, will be smaller than that of the elephant, if we apply the common sense. But cell here is different. It is independent of the size. Whatever be the size of elephant or whatever be the size of rat, the difference will be in the number of cells. The number of cells in elephant will be in trillions. 1 trillion is 100 billion, and the number of cells in rat may be in billions. 100 crore is 1 billion. So it is in the number which is a different, but the size will have no difference. It is still microscopic. It cannot be observed with the naked eye. It cannot be observed with the unaided eye. The only difference is in the function they perform. So there is a there's no difference. They remain small, microscopic, and independent of the size of the organism. I'll let you know. They remain independent of the size of the organism. They will have a similar function to perform. Example: the nerve cells of elephant and the nerve cells of rat will have the same function to transfer messages. Let's read this. Cells of elephant may be in trillions. 1 trillion is 100 billion, and cells of a rat in billions. 1 billion is equal to 100 crores. So, variety in number is observed, but not in size. Variety in number is observed, but not in size. They remain small, microscopic, and independent of the size of the organism. They remain small, microscopic. Microscopic, and independent of the size of the organism. Okay, let's move further. The largest cell measuring is 170 micrometer to 130 micrometer is egg of ostrich. Egg of an ostrich is the largest living cell. Hence, egg is smaller. However, these cells are visible by unaided eye. Naked eye. You don't need a microscope. They are still visible. You can, it's like egg yolk. The yellow part is the also cell. You boil your egg and you have the yellow part which is yolk. That's one example of a cell which you can see without the microscope. You can see a hen's egg. The white part is definitely a shell. It's a protein. So the cell is the yolk, which is the yellow part. Hen's egg, you can take another example, ostrich egg. So egg basically is a cell. So hen's egg is smaller. So these can be still observed by the naked eye or the unaided eye. However, most cells are microscopic. Okay, size of the cell is related to its function and not on the size of organisms. Very important. Size of the cell is related to its function and not on the size of the organism. And I explained you about the elephant and the rat. So they may be of different sizes, big, small, but when it comes to function, it has similar function. Nerve cells of rat and nerve cells of elephant will have a similar function to transfer messages. However, there will be a difference in the number of cells, but not in the size. It is independent of the size. The size of the cell will be same for elephant and for the rat. Okay, this is what I want to explain through this. So we move further, students. Now this I've done. Okay, right. So example, nerve cells have same function to transfer messages in elephant and in rat too. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Some organisms are single-celled and some organisms are multicellular. So let's understand this. The single-cell organisms are called unicellular. Example, amoeba. This is amoeba, how it's irregular, just like you've seen ginger, right? Adrak, ginger. So it's having an irregular shape. So same is the shape of amoeba. Amoeba, these are basically his false. This is called pseudo legs. This false feet. This is to catch its prey. So it it doesn't have a definite shape. It pseudo is a false leg. It seems to be as if it's a leg to catch the prey, but it will change its shape and size to catch its prey. So amoeba has a very irregular shape. It is single celled. It is not a multicellular. It is just a one cell, right? But this one cell is as good as a multi-cell. It doesn't need multiple cells to perform different functions. It's a single cell, unicellular. It can perform all the functions which a multicellular organism like human being or a dog. Human being and dogs are multicellular. They have multiple cells, right? They have a heart, liver, different cells with different functions, right? But this is not the case with amoeba. Amoeba can perform all the functions with alone, without multiple cells, with just a single cell. It's a single cellular living organism. It can alone perform all functions just like a multicellular organism like human or dog. It can excrete, reproduce, breathe, eat, to name a few. Some of the functions, right? So this is what it is. Now tissue is organ is made up of tissues. You see this organs is a group of tissues, which in turn is made up of group of similar cells. Collection of similar cells. I explained to you above. Therefore, each organ has a specific function to perform. Example, liver aids in digestion, and heart aids in digestion, and heart aids in blood circulation, helps in blood circulation. They cannot interchange their specific functions because cells of liver are not the same as cells of heart. So an organ will have tissues, and tissues basically is a group of similar cells. So the cells of heart will not be same as cells of liver. So liver function is to help in digestion, and heart's function is to circulate the blood. So basically it is all from the cells. A group of similar cells will make a tissue, and a group of tissues will make up an organ. Basically these are all collection of cells inside a heart or a liver, and both have a specific function to perform because both have specific cells which are different from one another, cannot be interchanged. Okay. Now let's move further. There are some more concepts on cell. I hope you are enjoying this. See, it's a very important chapter and a very interesting chapter. I would recommend you to go through the NCERT. read this chapter from NCERT. I have not taught you anything different from NCERT. However, I have tried to explain these concepts so that once you go through these concepts, you will be able to answer each and every question. And I always send you a link, a descriptive link towards the end, and so you just click the link and you will have all the important questions and answers. This time I have made enough questions for you because the cell is an important chapter. There can be some multiple choice questions which may be coming for examination. So I have done all the homework for you, and you just relax, enjoy, read the concepts and read all the questions and answers, right? So you just have to click the link, as I always send you the link, and all your questions and answers will be there. So students, let's move further now. Further to the next part. You can see the board here. Now, parts of a cell. There are three parts of a cell: cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Now, as we will be, this chapter is all about, the rest of the chapter is all about explaining these three things. So let's first do a diagram of plant cell and animal cell, which is very important for exam. Any question can come on a diagram, and what is present in animal cell and what is present in plant cell. So let's go through a diagram first, okay? A plant cell. Have a look. I made a nucleus here, a cell membrane, and then a cell wall. See, two layers. Cell wall is the outer layer. Cell membrane is the inner layer, which is behind the cell wall. So outermost layer is cell wall. Then there is a cell membrane. Then you make another circle of a bigger circle, which is an irregular shape, which is a vacuole. So this is basically how I make three circles: cell wall, cell membrane, and then this is a vacuole. And do leave a distance between vacuole and cell membrane, because you have to make a nucleus here. And nucleus has chloroplast. Chloroplast, because see, green plants can make their own food, right? Green plants need to have chlorophyll. So chloroplasts are those cells which will allow them to make food, which is only in the plant cell, right? So this is the diagram of a, and see, cytoplasm. Where is cytoplasm? This is cytoplasm. It is between cell membrane and vacuole. So cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance. It is basically have the nucleus inside, and it also has nucleus is inside the cytoplasm, right? And what else? So cytoplasm has nucleus inside that, and also has so it's between the cell membrane, and so cell membrane and nucleus is a part of cytoplasm, right? This is the cytoplasm. It's got a nucleus and it's got a cell membrane. So cell membrane protects the cytoplasm will have nucleus. So let me just I'll go through the cytoplasm as well. So I'll explain that to you. First, let's do. This is the diagram. Okay, we'll go through it because I'll definitely explain you all this. So this is the diagram. Now, animal cell. There are small vacuoles. There's a big vacuole in animal plant cell. There are many small vacuoles in animal cell. There is a cytoplasm, which is actually having nucleus, and cell membrane, which is the outer covering of the animal cell. Inside the cell membrane you will have nucleus. Here also inside the cell membrane you have nucleus, and and a cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is also there. This is cytoplasm. This is basically nucleus, between the nucleus and cell membrane. There will be certain structures inside which is cytoplasm. So I'll explain you cytoplasm. Okay, so have a look at the diagram. Now let's have the difference between animal cell and plant cell. Cell membrane is present in plant cell, yes. Animal cell, yes. Nucleus, yes, it is present in both. nuclear membrane. Okay, this is something which I'll tell you. Nuclear membrane is in there are two kinds of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. So most of the cells which are eukaryotic, they have a defined nucleus and a nuclear membrane. Like humans, dogs, mammals, most of them have a defined nucleus and a defined nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is the outer layering of the nucleus. So they are eukaryotic cells. So actually, from nuclear membrane it is present in both. But then I just have to explain you this thing. Prokaryotic cells. There is an exception. There are some cells which are prokaryotic, like blue-green algae and bacteria. They are prokaryotic, which means though they have a nucleus, just like eukaryotic cells or just like any cell, both will have a nucleus. But prokaryotic cells will not have a well-defined nuclear membrane. So nucleus will be somewhat moving inside the cytoplasm. Will not have a defined structure, a nucleus. So it will be still inside the nuclear membrane. It will still be inside the cytoplasm, but then it will not have a nuclear membrane. Remember this. Without the nuclear membrane, both will have nucleus, but prokaryotic cells like blue-green algae and bacteria do not have a well-defined nucleus, and without the nuclear membrane. So all the rest are eukaryotic cells, right? So which means they have well-defined nucleus. And with a nuclear membrane. In your NCRT, there is a human cheek cell and onion peel, which are eukaryotic, and it has a well-defined nucleus because it has got a nuclear membrane. So you can, inside the nuclear membrane, under the microscope, you can see, okay, there is a nucleus. But in prokaryotic, in like blue-green algae, you will not be able to see a well-defined nucleus because there is no nuclear membrane. You will not be able to differentiate between nucleus and another cell. So becomes a little bit difficult, right? So this is what you need to understand. Without a nuclear membrane is prokaryotic, and with a nuclear membrane is eukaryotic. Human cheek cells diagram: cytoplasm, a nucleus, cell membrane. Cell membrane is there, right? And onion peel. This is onion peel. It's like a jelly. Cytoplasm is just like a jelly-like substance. It has the nucleus inside, and some other bodies, some other cellular bodies, which are called organelles. Organelles are cell-like structures which are inside the cytoplasm. So with nucleus, there are some other cell-like structures as well. Though in your course there are not much details, like mitochondria, ribosome. These are two Golgi bodies. These are three cell structures inside the cytoplasm. Inside the cytoplasm, these are called cell organelles. Cell organelles is the word. So as we move further, we'll have a small view of that. But this, as of now, you just understand this is your diagram of human cheek cell. Cell membrane, nucleus, and then this is a membrane, cell membrane. In the same way, there is no cell membrane here also. This is cell membrane. This is nucleus, and nucleus is inside the cell membrane. Cell membrane, right? This is cell membrane. Where is cell membrane? This is cell membrane. Cell membrane, right? But there is no cell wall. There is no cell wall in plant, animal. In the animal cell, there is no cell wall. In the plant cell, there is cell wall. Behind the cell wall, it is a cell membrane. Cell membrane actually is a line which actually will not allow cells to go outside the membrane. So inside the cell membrane, nucleus, your other cellular organelles like mitochondria, ribosome, and Golgi bodies. These are some cell organelles which are all inside the cell membrane, and also the nuclear membrane and the cell membrane. So nuclear membrane and the cell membrane. Between this is cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm. Cell membrane. Same thing. Okay. So these are eukaryotic. Now let's understand difference. So I'll explain cell membrane here, and then I'll explain you cell wall. Then we'll explain you nucleus, and next we'll discuss about cytoplasm. Okay. Now cell membrane. the basic component of cell are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. This is of cell, right? Cell. Now, cell membrane has cytoplasm and nucleus. Cell membrane has cytoplasm and nucleus, which means cell membrane is the outer layer which has cytoplasm, these are cytoplasms, and nucleus. See, nucleus and cytoplasm. Nucleus, so this is cell membrane. Inside this is your cytoplasm. This all portion, you see this all portion outside nucleus, and outside the nucleus and inside the cell membrane will be cytoplasm. Okay. I just drop this. I just letting you know the equation of cytoplasm. Okay, and this is all cytoplasm. See, cytoplasm, right? Nucleus, membrane, cell membrane, and all this is cytoplasm. All this is cytoplasm. Okay. Now, and so it is porous, allows movement of substances or materials both inward and outward. That's the meaning of porous, right? Things can pass through that. That's porous, and it gives rigidity and shape to the cell. You know, like a skeleton system we have, so we can stand. So we have bones which will give a shape to our body. Same way, cell membrane will give a rigidity and shape to the cell. But it's all under the cell membrane, inside the cell membrane. Both have cell membrane, but animal cell will not have a cell wall. So some things were. Now we come back to this. This was the point, nuclear membrane. Yes, both will have nuclear membrane, but only the exception will be of prokaryotic cells, blue-green algae and bacteria, which will not have a well-defined nuclear membrane. Cytoplasm, yes, it is present in both. You've seen this. Chloroplast or plastids. Chloroplast or plastids, chloroplasts inside the nucleus. They are basically helpful for making food. Green plants make their own food. You know this by photosynthesis because of the presence of chloroplasts or plastids. So there are different color of plastids. One is a green plastid. So in a leaf, there is a green plastid. This green plastid has got chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, you can just understand that there are many these chloroplasts have different colors. One of the color is a green color. So green color is a green plastid, which has a chloroplast. Chloroplast helps in making food for green plants. So you cannot green plants cannot make their own food if they don't have a green plastid or they don't have a chloroplast, because chloroplast will have chlorophyll, right? So it's all interlinked. So you just have to understand, plastid will be in the chloroplast or plastid only in the plant cell, not in the animal cell. And vacuole will be big in a plant cell, while it will be small and there will be many and small in animal cell. So this is the difference. You may get a question of a diagram for either an animal cell or a plant cell, or you may still get just the difference, right? So this is the difference between animal cell and plant cell, or it could be just one of the cells, say animal cell or a plant cell either, and you just have to make a diagram and tell what are the components of the animal cell or a plant cell, and what is the major difference. Major difference between animal cell and plant cell is R2. Cell wall is not present. Cell wall is not present in animal cell, right? There is no cell wall. And what is the other thing? Vacuole. Vacuole is big in a plant cell. It is small and irregular. Small and irregular, and number of small and many in animal cells. And what other thing you can tell about them is that chloroplast. You can say animal cell do not have the chloroplast or plastids, right? It's not there, while they have, right? So here did I mention cell wall? Cell wall is one thing which I have missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where should I put this? 7. Okay, let it be here. Cell wall. find cell wall. In animal cell, not there. In plant cell, cell wall is present. Cell wall is present in plant cell. Okay. Now let's move further. So what happens? Cell, it gives rigidity and shape to the cell membrane. So this and allows this. This can be a 2-mark question about cell membrane. Cell wall. Now there is an outer thick layer in cells of plant cells called cell wall. This outer layer surrounding the cell membrane is required by plants for protection against number 1, variation in temperature, atmospheric moisture. In a tropical country, there's a lot of moisture, right? We have months from June to September are wet, rainy season. So moisture is there. So, and there can be some desert country, which doesn't have any, which is dry. There is no much moisture. So plants have to survive in different atmospheric conditions. Atmospheric moisture will be different, variations in temperature, and God has given them a gift. Nature has given them a gift that they cannot move. This is not a drawback. They cannot move, unlike animals. But then they have a cell wall to protect them. So what happens? This cell wall is not in animal cells. It is in plant cells. Now you will see how cell wall will make a difference to plants. So thus nature has given plants this shield to protect themselves through cell wall. How? Since plants cannot move, unlike animals, towards shelter, they are exposed to these variations. What are these variations? Variations in temperature, variations in atmospheric moisture, and high wind speed. So all this will protect the plant and will shield them against exposed to these. They are exposed to these variations, and thus nature has given plants the shield to protect themselves through variations. Okay. Through variations. Thus nature has given plants the shield to protect themselves through cell wall. So these are all variations, and plants can protect themselves through a cell wall, and these are the variations, right? Now nucleus is separated from cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. I told you about the nuclear membrane concept, about unempty human cheek cells. They are what? Eukaryotic cells. Exception of blue green algae and bacteria, which are prokaryotic. They don't have a nuclear membrane, so they don't have a well-defined nucleus. Simple. And so what happens here? Nucleus is separated from cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. You can see by a nuclear membrane. There is a nuclear membrane, and most cells have a well-defined nucleus and are eukaryotic cells. Refer to point 10. In point 10, what is it? This I have told you, prokaryotic and eukaryotic, right? Example of eukaryotic: onion peel, human cheek cells. They are all eukaryotic. They have a nuclear membrane and a well-defined nucleus. Most cells have a well-defined nucleus and are eukaryotic. Refer to point 10. Other than in blue-green algae and bacteria. Bacteria do not have a well-defined nucleus or nuclear membrane. They have a nucleus though, but not a nuclear membrane. And bacteria is the smallest cell, as I told you in one of the points in the previous part. That's the smallest living cell, right? So algae and bacteria does not have a well-defined nucleus. Prokaryotic cells. Nucleus is important component of living cell. So we continue further, and nucleus is a important component of the living cell. So the only part of the chapter which is left, we'll just move further, will be nucleus, and I'll tell you about nucleus and what is left, cytoplasm, and that's the only part of this chapter left. So in the meantime, you just remember that some important things about this chapter will be about the cell, its structure, who discovered cell, animal cell, plant cell, and the differences, and basically the 3 parts of the cell, right? And then about the to what is the basic features of the cell. They may be different. They are different in shape, size, and but they are you can the main thing is the function. They perform specific function. They are the basic structural units of a human body. Basic structural unit of the human body. In the previous part, I told you about how it is, how the system, human body goes back to system, and system goes back to organ, and then smaller than the organ is tissue, and then smaller than tissue is the cell. So basic structural unit of a living organism is the cell. And who discovered cell? Robert Hooke. Yeah, thank you. So let's move further now. Let's now move further, students. The last part of this chapter. There are some more things which are left, as we did continue on the nucleus, and so I'll explain you nucleus and what exactly are the functions of nucleus, and then there's a small thing on cytoplasm. I was telling you about cytoplasm, and then plastids, and that is all about this chapter. Okay, so now let's start. Nucleus. So as I was mentioning in the previous part, that nucleus is an important component of the cell. It is generally spherical and located in the center of the cell. Yeah. It can easily be seen under. It can easily be seen under a microscope. It is the control unit of the cell. It is the control unit of the cell. Just like a CPU is the control unit of the computer, so nucleus is the control unit of the cell. Okay. So these words are very important sometimes. I always give you these words. You can always use these words. So these are the key words. Okay. It is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane which is porous and allows movement of material between the cytoplasm and the inside of the nucleus. Just like there is a cell membrane, same way there is a nuclear membrane. Now inside the cell membrane, you remember there is a nucleus. There is a cell nucleus and a cytoplasm. So cytoplasm has certainly some bodies which are called cell organelles. I will just let you know. Basically these are three: ribosome, mitochondria, and Golgi bodies. These are in the cytoplasm. So what exactly happens? First there is a cell membrane, then there is a cytoplasm, then there is a nucleus. So nucleus has a nuclear membrane. So nucleus with a well-defined nuclear membrane, which was the case with eukaryotic cells, which have a well-defined nucleus and a nuclear membrane. Then there is a cytoplasm, and then there is a cell membrane. So cytoplasm is between cell membrane and nucleus, or you can say between nuclear membrane and a cell membrane, right? So you have referred to the diagram. So basically cytoplasm has a lot of things. It has got a nucleus, it has got a nuclear membrane, and it has got certain cell organelles. Let's move further. This is the same thing, and so even nuclear membrane is porous, just like cell membrane. So nuclear membrane is also porous. It allows movement of material from inside the nucleus to the cytoplasm, and vice versa. So cytoplasm is a jelly. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance. Cytoplasm, I have told you about the cytoplasm. It is a jelly-like substance and has cell organelles like ribosome, mitochondria, and Golgi bodies. In my descriptive link, I have a question on these three things. So what exactly they do. So not to worry. So in the descriptive link, when you go through my questions and answers, you will know about these three things. But it's not very detailed in your course. So just a brief idea that these are basically present in the cytoplasm. Okay. They are present in the cytoplasm of the cell, including nucleus. So basically nucleus and these cell organelles are all inside the cytoplasm, and cytoplasm is behind the cell membrane, and nucleus has a covering through a nuclear membrane, right? Okay. So this is what I have mentioned here, but these are all present in the cytoplasm of the cell, including nucleus. However, nucleus is separated by cytoplasm through nuclear membrane. nucleus also contains, okay, that's the important part here. Now I move further. A nucleus also contains thread-like structures called chromosomes, and these carry genes. So thread-like structures in the nucleus is chromosome. They carry genes. Who carry genes? Yes, chromosomes. These carry genes. What are genes? Genes help in inheritance or transfer of characters from the parent to the offspring. Very important. Genes help in inheritance. You inherit certain qualities from your parents. So this is called gene, and gene is in the chromosomes, and chromosomes are inside the nucleus. So these are all functions, of the nucleus. Genes help in inheritance or transfer of characters from the parent to the offspring. Example: a child may have a blue color of eye. If one parent has it, if one parent has blue color, then he may have a blue color eyes, or if both have it, maybe both parents have blue color eyes, and or if even one has, there is a possibility that in most cases the child may have a blue color eyes. If one parent has curly hair and another has straight, then if parents have two kids, one may have curly hair. So this is all the game of chromosomes. Chromosomes can be seen only when cell divides. So basically, when the cell divides, then only these quantities of inheritance comes. Right? So we proceed further now. Cytoplasm. So though I have explained the cytoplasm over here, so just again I will give a brief recap, because cell has got three structures. What are they? It can be any order, but you need to remember it. Simple. Cytoplasm, nucleus, and cell membrane. So now a little bit on cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is between nucleus and cell membrane. It is between nucleus and cell membrane, right? It contains nucleus. So I'm going to say because nucleus has a separation through nuclear membrane, but it is inside the cytoplasm. Nucleus is still there. Nucleus is still there in the cytoplasm only. So you see in the onion peel, that jelly-like substance which you see, there were small circles, and there was a, just like bricks, there was a small circle. That was actually inside the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm also has a nucleus. So nucleus is covered by nuclear membrane, right? And so cytoplasm is between nucleus and cell membrane. It contains nucleus membrane, and cell organelles. Cell organelles, I told you, which are inside the cytoplasm. It is porous. It is porous and allows movement of substances between nucleus and cell membrane. Right. So cytoplasm is covered. Cytoplasm has a layering. Outside layering of cytoplasm is cell membrane. Right. So inside cell membrane you have a cytoplasm, and then cytoplasm also has a nucleus, and cytoplasm also has organelles. So there is a transfer of a movement of substances between nucleus and cell membrane. Obviously that has to happen, so there has to be some function which the cell has to perform. So this transfer of substances will happen when this is porous. Cytoplasm is porous. Same way nuclear membrane is also porous. If it's not porous, then it will not allow substances to enter inside the nucleus. Neither inward, neither outward. Neither nucleus will not be able to send substances outside from its nucleus to the cytoplasm. So all these interactions will happen. I hope this part is clear. So I proceed now. Plastids in Tradescantia leaf. There are several colored and small bodies in the cytoplasm of the cells of Tradescantia leaf. Tradescantia leaf. So in this Tradescantia leaf, there are small bodies which are colored. So the one which is green colored are called plastids. These colored bodies are called plastids. So they can be different colors, but all colored bodies inside the Tradescantia leaf will be plastids. But the one which is a green color is a green plastid. These are in plant cells only. Yes, you will see in the diagram. It's only in the plant cells. The green colored plastids containing chlorophyll. So what happens? Only the green colored plastids will have chlorophyll. Okay, just remember this. And the green colored plastids containing chlorophyll are called chloroplasts. What are chloroplasts? The green colored plastids which contain chlorophyll are called chloroplasts. So which means any kind of a leaf which should have a green colored plastid, which should have a chloroplast. So basically chloroplast will have chlorophyll, because chloroplast contain chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is what is required for the plants to for the green plants to make their own food. So if there is no chlorophyll, then there will be no preparation of food, and it is only by green colored leaves or by green plants, because of the presence of green plastid, green colored plastids. So they provide color to the leaf as green. It is this presence of chlorophyll that allows green plants to make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. This is the whole chapter all about, and please click the descriptive link for important question and answers. So I hope you like this chapter about cell structure and its functions. If you have any queries, you can write in the comment box. If you like this video, please give a like and share it with your friends and anyone who would like to know about this chapter. And also please do not forget to click the bell icon